If you turn your camera, you'll get the wider picture the way we got it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
Boy, I'm semi-retired. But we came out. That shit was well, hey, man, this quarantine, man, that was well needed, man.
Yeah.
Start again. It's gonna repeat. Alright. I'll be right back, I did.
Dog's been acting up since you been gone, man.
Alright, hold on. Alright, I'm about to go live, so everybody just be, I'm gonna let the music play, everybody be quiet, then when I talk, we'll come in. This is a youth show, Charles.
I'm great, thanks. I'm going through my
You can always go to the internet and save a picture too to your thing. That's all.
I got the Black Panthers logo. Don't worry about it. I'm not saying Black Panther. Charles, the Chester Panthers. You won't see it on mine, but it'll be streaming.
Yo, that's cool, man.
And we are live with video. Welcome to Sports Talk Live for the Culture. How you doing, fellas?
You.
Good. We have Jonathan, the regular, on the show, but we are privileged today to have Mr. Charles Thompson, coach, CEO of the Chester Panthers. How you doing, Charles?
Hey, man, I'm great.
I wanted to bring Charles on today to talk about youth sports in this era of COVID-19. But first of all, how you making out with this quarantine time, sir?
Oh man, it's boring, to say the least. But I'm blessed and I'm here. You know what I mean? But it's tough, man. The whole world is shut down, and it's really taking a toll on America as the world as a whole.
Yeah, it's just something that we haven't seen in our lifetime, have experienced in our lifetime. Being able to go out and just play sports or eat out or go to the movies or go to a game or anything along those lines or gather in large numbers. Yeah, this is unprecedented times here in the world, and I think definitely things have changed permanently. I don't think things will go back
I agree.
to the way they were. I just don't think we can. I mean, I think there's talk about opening up America and stuff like that, but people are skeptical. I'm skeptical. I'm not going to run out there real fast.
Exactly.
Definitely that won't be one of the things that I will be attempting to do when those opportunities. I'm gonna be that fallback guy. I let a few people run out there and see how it's going out there. But what I wanted to bring in, and as you see, I put up here, the Chester Panthers total domination. I just wanted to bring Charles on because he's running a very successful youth program for football in the city of Chester, and just wanted to see how you guys are maintaining, how you guys are projecting the future. Are you keeping in contact with your players? Any advice on staying in shape or drills they can run in the backyard? But I just wanted to give what's the status of the Chester Panthers? How you guys are handling this quarantine?
I mean, to be honest, we really haven't. There's amongst a lot of the other things that's going on, like even particularly in our program, we've been dealing with deaths, and not even really around COVID-19, but just deaths in our organization. So we haven't been meeting. We haven't been able. We weren't even able to have our banquet this year. That you guys were part of last year.
Right.
We weren't even able to have our banquet because the casino was shut down, and they're advising the whole social distancing thing. So we really haven't been doing anything as far as activity wise. I actually went down to the shooter shed today to get some phones and some things ladders, so I can work. My sons can continue to work out. But it's tough, man. It's like you really don't know what to do. You don't want to meet. You don't want to. You got to be conscious of these germs and these things, man. It's just something that, like you said, that we've never experienced before, and I think it's changed. I think it's changed the way we live forever. It's going to change the way we live forever.
Charles, do you think that this pandemic may affect participation in contact sports such as football?
Football, everything, like basketball, baseball, all these sports everything's been just disrupted.
Mm.
No out. This is outdoor. This we're going into outdoor track season. We did no spring workouts. Like we couldn't do anything because of this pandemic, and it's sad. But yes, I don't even think honestly. I'm praying. I pray every day
Mm-hmm.
that this situation is resolved. But I realistically don't feel like that parents as a whole are even going to be comfortable with their kids being around other kids because you don't know.
Yeah, different households.
Right.
And that's the thing. The expectations of football, and football is so contact, is tackling. Um,
Right.
huddling up tight. The whole 9 yards, the
Right.
drills. It's one of the most. It may be the most contact sport out of all the sports being played.
Oh,
So
without a question.
yeah, and that's one of the things I'm wondering. There's always that reluctancy in the first place to have their kids playing football. Then you're dealing with the CTE stuff, and now you're
Right.
dealing with the pandemic. How's it all going to play out? Jonathan, what's your feelings on this?
Oh man, I think it's going to change. Like Charles was saying, it's changing, but I think it's also going to change for the best. Like it's going to be a lot of more better outlets. Like far as even like doctors, like they should have been making house calls for 80-year-old people. They should have been making virtual calls. They got somebody having to carry people outside. That can't walk. And they can barely carry them. So like I think those things are going to start continuing and evolving. They should have been making these virtual doctors visits, for these 90-year-old people that's in these houses and stuff like that, But yeah, like you said, it's definitely going to be skeptical, and I think it'll go by. I think once when no cases, maybe maybe 6 months. I think it'll go past, and I think it'll get better. But it's always gonna be in everybody's mind. This is something that's gonna stick with everybody. Until we're gone.
Yeah, the generations, like to
Right.
anybody that can't tell the tale. Even though I'm fortunate to have grandkids, my story is gonna be a little bit different. It'll be I've been more Will Smith out there than just staying at home watching TV. But that's the interesting point that you bring out. How do we change? Does it mean less contact, less practices, less drills along those lines moving forward? Do you think you guys will now be like, hey, we may start off practicing maybe twice a week instead of 3 times and 4 times a week?
Right. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, we had a league meeting. We had a league meeting about this, or a conference call about this a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you really got to play everything. Like we don't really know. I mean, we just don't know. Right now, there's not a hold on it. Like different, especially the inner cities the cases are rising and multiplying so fast. We only have no idea when we can even get a hold of it until I guess a vaccine is made or some type of
testing
relief is discovered. That you can't call it.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything's been put on hold. Like everything, everything is paused. I mean, they've Governor Wolf has shut down Pennsylvania schools. I think Delaware schools, even though they officially haven't been shut down, I think they'll be done for the year. I don't see the children and the students coming back. I work in the William Penn school district, and I was distributing Chromebooks this week, and we'll distribute some more next week. So we're at a point now that, hey, this is uncharted territory, and it's how do you prepare? Like, you don't know. Are we going to have a season, or do you say, look, we're not looking at this season. Maybe we're looking at next season, the season after next. How do we look? And do you think, Charles, from a coaching aspect, because you build momentum with your players year in and year out, this time off could be, stunt their development in sports?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna hurt. It's definitely gonna hurt their development. No question about it, because you're forced to take a day off now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we push no days off.
Mm.
So it's definitely hard. It's hard on the community. It's hard on sports. I mean, we really, like I said, like we really gotta even try to get a handle on this thing because we just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and the part about it is one of the things that you lose. You lose good health from participating in sports. That's one of the things.
Right.
But you lose that camaraderie, that sense of identity, the sense of belonging, and it's an extremely positive outlet. And now that we're quarantined, where are these positive outlets going to go? For the youth.
Right.
And especially when we deal in our communities that you see people may have some issues. So what do you think, Jonathan? Do you think uh, we can develop some things that kids can do outside of contact that may help them?
It's going to be a step back as a whole for sports, but not for the ones that have that dog inside of them. And what I mean by the dog that I'm talking about is me and my brother was just driving on Dutton Mill Road, and we just seen the two time wrestling champion for I think he said Sun Valley. He was jogging with a backpack on right now. I mean, this was literally an hour ago.
Yeah.
So the ones that have that push in them and that will, I feel as though they're going to get another boost because the ones that's just pretty much just more talented that don't have the work ethic, they're going to take a step back.
For
and
sure.
the ones that have that work ethic is going to jump forward, because he's out there right now jogging, two-time champion. He won it in his 10th grade year and he won in his 12th grade year. He's running right now. He's jogging right now as we speak. We just rolled past him about 45 minutes ago. So that's what I think. The ones that had a dog in them, I think that they're going to prevail through this when the sports open back up. And the ones that just laid around with, played in the house, I'm already better than everybody. They're the ones that's going to have a step back because they're going to realize how sluggish they are, how they can't move the way they was moving, and it's going to hurt them.
Oh, and I'm wondering about when you talk about, participation and crowds at games, going to high school sports, going to see your child play. I'm wondering if streaming, I had to talk with Rap Curry, athletic director of William Penn School District, that they're calling for more streaming of games, more streaming of activities, because people are going to pick and choose how many groups they're going to gather in.
Right.
Which one? I'm going to go to church, and I may hit a Sixers game, but I don't know if I'm going to hit all these high school games again, or high school basketball games, or high school gym games like I used to. I'm going to be very particular about the environment that I place myself or take my family to. So we may be looking at a future of sports, not only on the professional level, but maybe on a high school level, where most people are viewing it via social media. What do you guys think about that?
I think, listen, I think the whole gathering thing is over, man. I mean, you gotta really look at it, okay? So you look at the cases, that have been just spiraling out of control. There's still a rack of people who not even going to get tested, who can't even get tested. So some people are living with this. Some people are living with it and they're passing it and they don't even know. I don't see social gathering ever going back to what it used to be. I mean, unless you foolish. Like some people are really out here acting like this is really us.
Yeah.
But some people are still gathering. Some people are still going to church. Some people are still playing basketball. But that is because of the level. I don't want to. I just want to. Ignorance sounds like a bad word, but lack of knowing probably. It's like a lack of knowing.
But when you're young, we're all young, and when we're young, we thought we were superhuman. You know what I mean? That was the whole point. Like when you're young, you think you're superhuman. But this thing is, you can be asymptomatic and spread it to somebody else.
Exactly.
Right. That's the problem.
And I'm saying that to say, how do you stop that? How does that just automatically disappear? Like how does that threat is going to live forever because they made it. Whoever got here, but that threat's going to be here forever.
And that's the interesting part because it's always going to be in the back of your mind. Younger people
Right.
who didn't experience this at all be like, they may know as generations come, when you get to 2092 or something like that. Like, this is just,
Right.
oh, yeah, that happened 50, 72 years ago. Yeah, we was doing that or whatever. But for the people who lived it and have been quarantined, and you see these numbers and the potential health risks it is, you're always going to be just that little back of your mind is, man, I know they have a cabaret tonight, but them cabarets be the jaws be a little tight in there. They be sitting 10 and 12 to a table. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I may have to pass on that. That
Right.
not only just in like the athletic, and like Charles, like you said, you guys have a postseason banquet.
Right.
Moving forward, playing in the season, and you try to fit as many people as accommodate as many people as in the area. But now, how is that? How do those things come up? You have a banquet. And now people are like, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
I don't know if we're going to do the banquet thing this year. I mean, we were happy to get a season in, but I think basically, if you're playing those different sports and year round activities, it's going to be interesting to see as the restraints are lifted or what the timetable is. Do you guys think? If the professionals come back and they're playing, do you think that'll have maybe a positive effect on the youth sports if the collegiate level, the professional level, resume some type of activity in sports? Do you think that will lead to some participation, maybe keeping along the lines?
I mean, I believe. Well, I believe that again. There's always going to be your risk and your chance takers. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see I can't imagine seeing a packed stadium anytime soon, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's selling out.
Yeah. See me, I think it's going to go. But the thing about it is, I think we're going to be better. I think this is going to blow over, but I think we're going to be better as far as future things. So if you notice, we all get a flu, a 24-hour flu every year. But sometimes we get it twice. We throwing up, we in the bathroom, stomach hurt, and we get that every month. And we always get something, and then every winter, your doctor's office, you go to the doctor's office.
I don't get that, but go ahead.
They prescribe everybody promethazine like it ain't nothing. It's gonna be something small like that. Like eventually it's gonna blow over. But we're gonna be still doing things like the gloves and stuff, like the masks. Like I'm gonna still keep my mask on at work a lot more. Like even once this blows over, like we're gonna be doing more stuff, worried about ourself more. Like we just grab carts, jump in the carts, push the carts. Like we're not gonna do that. We're gonna wipe those. Every place that has a wiping stand down, we're going to use it. Even if we're thinking about it or not, we're going to grab it, we're going to wipe it. Whereas though we never done that before. I think we're going to do better in life as far as getting things together more. Whereas though before we never done that. Because if you remember also, what was that, 09, 08, 2010, like the H1N1, that was bad. That was bad too. That was on the lines of this. It was a little different. That was airborne. This is not fully airborne, so that was bad also. But we got past it, is what I'm saying, But we didn't get past it, and we didn't take the precautions that I feel as though we're going to take with this one. Like we just got past that and blew it over, and I guess because nobody close really got it, it was like, or really died from it. It was a little different. You had it actually, so. It was bad. That thing was bad, and we got past that H1N1, so I think we get past it. I think we'll see the packed crowd. Not this season, like you said. I definitely don't think this season. They're going to open everything back up because Congress is in a bad position. Like the billionaires is on them. Like billionaires pretty much saying, forget everybody's life, open everything back up. We need to make money. Like, and they trying to open everything up next week, so that's another crazy thing. You know what I mean? How are you going to open up everything next week with numbers going up?
Man, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, Jonathan, yeah, you hit a point that the lessons are going to be learned, and there'll be some things that won't be passed. That'll never be back. Maybe for some people, back, Charles, you can attain to. We used to pass that bottle around. I'm not going to say the bottle, but I'm just. but that stuff is over. Like, I mean, like I would assume it would be over. I mean, I don't know. Other people pass other things around in the circle, but I think all those things are done for, and I think and I think you're gonna bring that type of sensitivity to the sports world, and especially let's look at wrestling. Wrestling. Maybe one on one. Not a lot of people. You wrestle your teammates. You wrestle other teams. Sports like that. Mats. The precautions you need for sanitation and things along those lines, moving forward, may take it up a notch, a new level. Right. I mean, it's like between matches, a sanitation of a wrestling mat or something along those lines. You have all these matches and how we go and how we practice and how much do we want to limit the physical contact of individuals. And so it's going to be interesting to see what type of ramifications it has as far as with these organizations, the PIAA, your local sports leagues at the high school level, and even, Charles, at the youth level, what things they ask you to put in and do moving forward, and how does that affect the affordability of being able to run a program? Because the margins are tight as it is. You're trying to the equipment, things along that, playing time, shoes. And now we say, look, in order to run this, you got to have such and such. You got to have this sanitation. You got to have new bottles every week. Maybe you don't keep the bottles, like, you have a water bottle that you use all season. You know what I mean? Maybe things become more disposable. Like, so it's going to be interesting to see how different groups come forward and make changes to the system going forward. But how do you feel, Charles, about the Chester Panthers moving forward? You after COVID, you confident that you guys will get your momentum back moving forward, or it's just it's one thing you just got to wait and see?
Yeah, I definitely feel like you got to wait and see. I'm praying, because here's the thing. One of the major reasons why I started this program, or I'm gonna say revamped the program, started to back up, is because I was fearful of the kids in the city of Chester not having positive things to do and not having positive male
role models
structure in their life.
Yeah.
And I'm praying, like, we're not in touch with these kids. Like, like a lot of the kids are still communicating by way of social media, or maybe playing these games, Fortnite and Call of Duty and all that type of thing. But we're not hands on with them. We're not hands on with them like we usually are, and we can't mentor them the way we used to. So I mean, I really honestly have to really kind of think of some ways that we can still get some type of involvement, with them, because that is the sole reason why I started. These kids are out here now. They're not in school.
Yeah,
they're not in school. They're not playing sports. Yeah. So it's only a matter of time,
and a lot of
other variables around.
And a lot of our community are essential workers, so they're going in to handle those situations. And then what do you do? Moving forward, and that's one of the main things. They had an incident on Saturday. They had kids out at 1:00 in the morning, 16 to 17, trying to do some dumb stuff, and someone lit them up. Like gave them a lesson they're never going to forget. Moving forward, and that's what you have to do. Coach Jalan, how you doing? Joining us, man.
What's up, son? What's up, G?
Good. We've been having this conversation.
What's up, man?
And you have two sons that play sports. We've been talking post COVID-19, the mentality and getting kids and playing football, contact sports, wrestling, things along that line. How much of it is going to change? Is it going to be a new era where people are reluctant to have their kids involved in all this contact. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to change, but to how much is going to change? You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Is like how much is it going to change? I mean, starting football, of course, we starting behind the ball, depending on when all this dude let up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's going to be the hard part about everything. But as far as the contact, you know what I mean, the social distancing and all that. I mean, I think all that's going to die down eventually anyway. You know what I mean? So once everything gets
yeah, how long do you think it takes? Because coaching? Are you worried about? Hey man, my numbers are down 48%, like 50%. Half these parents were like, "Nah, my kid ain't going out there. We not yet."
I mean, we are going to experience that. I mean, I hear it every day. Like dealing with my family. My wife already said if it let up today, our kids still ain't going back out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they going to rush everything back over at the end of the day. So, which is the bad thing. You know what I mean? So, it's just. Go ahead.
That part right there, Jalan, the rushing part is what really bothers me. So I was riding. I was coming from Philly, and I saw all these cars parked at the Wells Fargo Center, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on there? Like, what are they doing there? Who is that? But I didn't pay close attention to it. So as I keep going, I ride past. There's a guy that I do some plowing for that has a car. He moves cars to different dealerships. So he has car carrier. He has a lot. There's lots that I plow for him. So I ride past there in the last 2-3 days. I've noticed that the gates were closed. Like normally during the day it's open all day. And then when the last truck comes in, they close the gates and lock it for the night because they keep cars. Their cars are loaded. They're loaded to go out the next morning. So I called him. And I was like, hey, man, what's going on, man? I said, the trucks ain't moved in a couple days. And that was strange. He said, we have 4 lots full of cars. There's no car dealerships on this East Coast are taking new cars. They can't even take them. If you notice the rail lines, they have these train cars, and you'll see train cars now all the way to Maryland. All the way to Maryland because nobody's buying cars. Nobody's buying gas. Right now, most of our refineries are filled to capacity. They can't even produce any more oil or be fueled because nobody's driving. Nobody's going anywhere. And the fact that these politicians, not scientists, not doctors, these politicians are screaming, open it back up. They're being influenced by everybody that put them in office. They don't care what happens to the people.
At the end of the day, they don't. Listen, our president ready to start riots. He telling them to protest their governor to open back up. That's the leader, right?
Right.
That's that's going to be the part where I think everybody has to use common sense. I mean,
for sure.
There was it's an old saying: dead people don't pay bills or taxes either. so if there's nobody around, you're not going to generate any revenue at all either.
Right. But see, the bad part of the whole thing is, even down to the social distancing and the way the jobs are, half of these jobs that's open shouldn't be open. If you think about it, what makes a hoagie shop different from a pizza shop? You feel what I'm saying? I go to Domino's. I gotta get my food at the door, but I can walk in a hoagie shop. That's right around the corner. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Half the people paid attention to us, and a lot of people didn't. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Some people like, man, I'm not letting my money stop. You know what I mean? And
you try to support businesses because you're trying to support. I know I hit a few. I've hit a few of my spots where I get food from, and they've come out to the curbside service like that, and everybody's wearing masks and gloves and things along those lines. because you're still trying to keep the economy rolling. I'm still grabbing some brews from here and there, and those are the things that we're trying to do to keep everybody, help some people out, during this time. But at the same time, you still have to have the precautions. The precautions have to be there because in the long run, if we're going to get this economy back up, the worst thing you can have is like a massive relapse. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing you can do is you try to open up something too soon, and then when you do it, we got hit again, and then really people become real nervous or scared or have a lot of anxiety and don't want to participate in society because this is like a new unforeseen times that we've never been across or never expected that they were shut down outside. Like we've had tornadoes, we have hurricanes, we have major snowstorms, stuff, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Right now we don't know we see some light. We don't know if it's the end of the tunnel or a train coming or or once that joint's over, what's the new normal? The new normal is going to be really interesting, and that's the part where it's going to play the most dividends. And you see it now. This is the first time in history all sports have been shut down. Period. And when you talk about the money aspect, the NCAA canceled the March Madness tournament. That's when it's serious. Because when this thing first started, I was like, I said, when they shut down the casinos, then I know it's real. When they closed the casinos, and I said, and the NCAA March Madness said, no, we're not even going to do the tournament. Period. It's over. It's done. No championship this year. I was like, man, this thing is really serious then.
It's serious. And a lot of jokers still taking it for granted, thinking it's a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be out here. I mean, and, everybody to each what you believe. But this whole thing is about public health. I may have health issues that I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take those pills. I don't believe in that. Whatever. That affects me. That affects me as an individual. But we're talking about a public health situation where you can have asymptomatic individuals spreading this disease, across many, many people. So it's a public health issue where you got to fall back and say, hey, look, I'm staying out of the public as much as possible. I'm home here. I go to work. I come back when I need and work from home. I have that advantage. Some other people have to be out more, hospitals and nurses and everything. And I think for their sake, for people who are out here on the front lines, that you can
I'm one of those people that gotta go out every day.
So it's like you gotta be inside. Like I don't understand like how difficult. I understand like if you gotta work, and understand you're trying to make some money, but if you can stay inside, all they're asking you is to stay inside. Like they said, look, we need you to stay inside, and we're at a generation like where you got multiple media outlets to keep your time, read a book, watch 9 million shows. You got the internet. It's like, could you imagine doing this with no internet?
Boy, oh my goodness, man! Listen, Sunni, I have become the stream king, bro. Listen, every single Hulu, TV, like every single one, IMDb, man, I'm maximizing everything, man, just to stop being bored.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm like, what the heck? You can do it. Like I was like. And I feel that we may need to try to do that some more.
Hey, look, I'm going to holler at y'all fellas, man. I got to go.
All right. Take it easy. Be safe.
To the crib.
All right.
Be safe, brother.
Be safe.
Same thing.
That was Coach Jalan Moore. He coaches his 2 sons. He coaches for Chichester, and he has 2 sons that play football in high school and one in youth sports. And it's going to be interesting to see. But at least we have those outlets that we can have to stay in, and we have technology like this, such as Zoom, Google Meet, things where we can get together and still have conversations. And the thing about it was so interesting, and I run this by you guys. With all this technology, we were really becoming a community of social media interaction. Like we
Right.
were really the predominant most of our interactions with a large group of people were via social media. Now
Right.
as we're older, we don't go out anymore like we used to when we were in our 20s. We got kids, we got stuff like that, and we hit out every now and then or hit a brewery, whatever with Jonathan. But now all of a sudden when it's taken away, it's like, oh my god. like I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't coach, I can't do all those other things, and it really hits you. And
Right.
and I think the sports world is probably, and I think the sports world is going to lead the way when coming back, moving forward. They may play games with nobody in the stands or half the stands or whatever. Who knows? Moving forward, most of the money is generated through TV revenue anyway. That's
Right.
the real bit. It's not really the gate. They could care less about the gate unless the sweet money and the 95% markup on the beer and popcorn and burgers and stuff. But their $1 billion comes from that TV revenue. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to see. I think the sports world is going to play a key. And Charles, coaches like yourself, when we get on the other side of this, trying to bring back confidence and into the community, and that's a big thing. And especially as you saying, your major factor was trying to get mentors in front of youth, males especially,
Right.
and get the male influence. And how are we going to be able to do this? This thing goes on for another 4 or 5 months.
Right.
What ways can we get some input to the young individuals to keep them moving in a positive direction? I think that's one of the biggest challenges it's going to be, and especially for our socioeconomic environments like Chester. It's going to be like unbelievable.
One thing I feel like that's hopeful, or plus, I believe once we get more education around this actual pandemic, I think then you can start looking at different options. We've thought about doing so many different things, but you just can't. You don't know what you can do. We don't know. We don't know all the symptoms. We don't know all the ways you can catch it, because they're still finding out more and more things every single day.
Yeah.
But I think once as a whole, we're actually more educated on this pandemic, then you can start looking at some different options. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard for these kids that are used to and look forward to that hands-on pushing, that hands-on, that yelling. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Like, we yell at them. They know we love them.
Yeah.
We yell at them and we push them. But most of those kids, they look forward to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to bring the best out of them. They know it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, man. It's just hard. Like I said, you can't even figure out what you can do until you get some education and get some, some kind of get hands around the whole situation as a whole. So we're still learning, and it's still peaking, and people are still dying. You just gotta be careful, man. I know some people personally that are going through this whole COVID-19 situation, and I'm thankful nobody that I really know has passed. But I know some people that have fought for their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And some people, it's there. You can look at them and tell anything's ever wrong. I think at one point in time, we either all have or we will come in contact with this virus, man. And it's really on you as an individual and your body. Can you fight it? Do you have the right things going on? Are you eating the right foods?
Yeah.
That are putting those something. Those are the things I think that when Johnny was saying there's some good going to come out of it. I think people are going to consciously eat more healthier now. People are going to take these different vitamins now. Just to keep their immune system up. So it's just kind of hard to plan things. It's kind of hard to really put a grasp on this thing, because it's real. Like, it's real. Like, most of these people who are not paying attention have not really seen people suffer from this disease. I got family in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really going through it. They're going through it. Like, some people in different parts of our country are scared to death. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just different, man. You know, it's just different.
Yeah, it's one of the monumental things of the 21st century. Like,
yeah.
when we get out of this, and we try and look at it from the sports and side of it, but sports
right.
are a microcosm of society,
right.
and that's where we get a lot of our development. I say that all the time. My kind of development and my morals are from church, my family, and my football coach. You know what I mean?
Right. right.
So that's how that's how things go and things move forward. And we want to come together, and I think people will be more appreciative of people. Hopefully, I think we've had a lot of things here in the past talking about the value of whose work is valued more, whose work is valued $15 an hour, whose work is valued really good healthcare. Well, it's valued for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, those individuals are keeping America afloat right now. Definitely. That's all we're doing. I mean, we're definitely keeping. They're definitely keeping America afloat and moving forward. And you have to. And we have to, once this is, I hope we don't go back and hope we say, when we're looking at these nurses, doctors, sanitation work was key, maintenance, custodial staff, key. Their job at
right.
point is saving lives. Like, we must sanitize, we must clean up, we must health. And like Jonathan said, telecommunication is going to be the thing. I think more people are going to work from home moving forward.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I think, yeah.
And then the other things is like, we're going to do a lot of stuff that we just supposed to, that we just miss, Yeah. It's a million times, everybody, just get out the car and go sit in the house and just grab the remote. Now you're going to think to wash your hands, before you go grab the remote and sit down. You probably think take maybe even taking your clothes off, before laying down, watching TV.
Oh no, when I work, the wife has me in the washroom. I take everything off and immediately goes in the washer, and I put some shorts or whatever, go upstairs, get in the shower. That's my routine when I come in. I mean, that's
right. But I think that's gonna start going more around.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the only bad things, I don't see nobody picking that candy wrapper up off the ground outside anymore. I don't see them doing that. So that trash is gonna be there. Like I don't.
But you got your little tweezer things. You got your little tweezer things.
Yeah, like you get a picker. Yeah. Like you get a picker. And then that'd be a little different story. But if I don't have a picker, it's just gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean those things, and it's just interesting. Like I think you saw where they pulled the guy off the bus who didn't have a mask on, in Philly, and he was like,
right.
I think people are going to be highly conscious of this, moving forward, and it'll be interesting to see 5-6 months and see how this thing's played out. People are still going to be like, man, I may have to have my mask on. I don't know, but I'm gonna run in there.
Yeah. Well, my work is my job is a dusty area, so I'm just gonna wear mine just off that alone. Like I like now that I go wash my face when I get off work, and I don't have nothing black in my nose. Like my nose, it'll be black stuff all on my nose just because how dusty my job is.
Yeah.
So they gave us masks. We always had masks to wear, but we just didn't ever take the precaution. But we breathing all that in our lungs, so.
Right.
I'm gonna keep wearing the mask as much as I can, like more conscious of it.
And I think that's all you can do. I think that's the main thing. Is like we're not going back to before this. You can forget about that. We are definitely not going back before the way it was. You can forget
because that 24-hour flu, everybody gets it because nobody takes the precaution.
Well, I never really get flu. Go ahead.
When you go to the doctors, they say, it's going around. Like, I've been prescribing people all month. Like, it's been going around. That's because if we take the precaution, it can stop with somebody. Like, we don't take the precaution, So we spread that 24-hour flu all the way around the U.S. Just off of touching stuff, grabbing people, sneezing, shaking somebody's hand, like all that. Just boom. Kids, babies.
Yeah, but now you got literally death is in the air, and you got the things we have to do now. They're little things, but I think it adds up to a much, to public health. This is what you're doing to be public. And I said it before, they're asking us just to stay home and chill.
I just can't imagine the people that's already been taking these high precautions, because you got to keep elevating. You know what I mean? Like, I shook a lot of hands. Like, I'm not going to shake hands like that.
No more. I'm not shaking hands. It's over.
But I'm talking about the people that's been done with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking? I'm talking about the people that's been walking around with hand sanitizer every time they touch the door or something. They sprayed their hands. Like, where are they going to elevate their game to? Like, that's going to be the thing.
Right.
Like, they already been on edge.
Right. And I know somebody that caught it, and they one of the germophobic people I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go figure. Yeah. Go figure.
And you never know. Like, we have so much, so much contact with individuals, just on work day, whatever, if you have any kind of social thing. But, and we have less contact because, more people, the internet, more stuff to watch, more people come home. I mean, I don't go to the movies as much unless it's something really like a big blockbuster. I kind of wait because now my TV is about 70 inches big at home anyway. So
right.
So I mean, I'm not really running out there, doing those types of things. And will that happen? I think, can the movie theaters come back? Like you're so close to people in the movie theaters. Man, I'll watch that at home. I mean, I'll wait till that.
Man, I'm never going in there. I just nothing goes in. Yo, listen, I go to Walmart. I can't stand Walmart. It's crazy because I try to shop in smaller stores. Like I will go to the Rite Aid to get soap powder because I don't care that it costs more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like the feeling. It feels germy, icky. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just bad, man. Walmart,
the moisture,
curbside.
The moisture that be in the air is just bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nasty. And it's crazy because as soon as I get out and get some fresh air, I don't feel that way no more. Man, I'm like, I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it. They need to start doing curbside, man.
Yeah. The thing about it was, I started going to different supermarkets on how clean they were, how their parking lots look, how the front of the store looks. When I get in the store, how everything is crisp and clean. That's always been me. I was like, I don't care if it's more money. It could be the same thing, but this appearance here psychologically makes me feel better. Like I'm like, I'm like, nah, I can't do this. Local shop and everything is not. I can't do that anymore because it's just the whole thing. Everybody's been put on notice because we were all. And I admit I was skeptical in the beginning. I was like, I don't know about this, but like I said, once they closed down the casinos, I was like, man, this is going to be a serious thing. And they stopped sports dead in its tracks. It's like, wow. And the thing is, and the big thing, and we can all be honest, if there's no NFL season, whew, I don't know what do you do.
Man, listen. It sounds crazy, but I tell you what, man, this money don't matter in this situation.
Yeah.
Man. Like you ain't no use even being a millionaire. You sick as a dog.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even enjoy it.
Yeah. You can't.
You know what I mean? Like it might. We never could even imagine. Like sometimes I wake up and it's unbelievable. It's like I still can't believe we in this type of situation, man. Like this is bananas.
Yeah. And you saw how fragile the whole infrastructure was.
Right.
We had. It's not like bombs or and bullets.
Oh no.
It's a virus, and it just
it
just took everything down. It's like you can't even go out and enjoy anything, and at so many levels, and whoever what you believe or whatever. But if you were trying to come at the United States, this is the way to come at us. You know,
Man, they caught us with our pants down, bro.
I mean, it's like I'm like, how in the world do you come back from a situation like that? I mean, it's just one of those things where um, you're looking at the ability to rebound, and
Right.
can we rebound back from this? I mean, and we can, I think. But the thing is, will we learn lessons though? You know,
Right.
that's the whole point. Have we learned our lessons on what we need to be a better nation and be better prepared
Right.
for things along these lines? I don't know if everybody gets sick. I think the main reason that they don't want to overwhelm the hospitals and stuff, but now it's better to be prepared and pray you don't need it than not to be ready at all. I mean,
Again, we still lacking. We still lacking information, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't think nobody is going to admit or really tell how this whole thing started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem of trying to find the answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know you into technology real heavy, and there's all these conspiracy theories out there. Do you really believe 5G towers has something to do with this virus?
Nah, there's a lot of countries that don't have 5G towers that have the virus. I mean, it just
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's as simple as that. There's an enormous amount of people, countries that are struggling with COVID-19 that don't have 5G technology.
Okay,
and we just
good.
yeah we just I mean everybody's always you're always wondering all these waves that come down on us, you know, what effect they have. But nah, I don't think that. I think when you talk about viruses and strains and things mutate and how you come, and that's what you just have to deal with, and you just have to build up antibodies to it. You know, and that's the whole thing that about human race. If you basically watch War of the Worlds, that war was
Right.
won because hey, we've been on this planet a long time, and we built up, we've built up antibodies and stuff, to the planet. But I don't think 5G towers, has anything to do.
I don't either, but I just want
I
to.
mean, everybody has, and then the whole thing about me, everybody has their theories. I said, I don't care what your theories are, just stay home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how you think you got it, how you do all this. That's fun, but as long as you're spewing that from your household, and you're staying there, being well, you should be good. Charles,
Right.
I wanted to ask you something. We did a whole show last week on Scheme, the HBO documentary on college basketball. Scheme, the HBO documentary Scheme with Charles Dawkins. Have you checked it out yet?
No, I haven't.
Check it out. Very good.
I sure will. I got plenty of time.
Yeah. Check it out. It is very good and moving forward. And Charles, you have children in college, right?
Yeah, I have a daughter in college.
What was her the thing on college and coming back home and along those lines? She was away at college, right?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I'm happy about it because it knocked her bill down.
Okay.
But tremendously. But again, I feel for her and all the rest of the kids because I mean, college life is college life, man.
Yeah.
Like you independent. You ain't got no parents around you. You can do what you want, basically.
Yeah.
And so you got to start setting your own parameters and for your life.
Yep.
And I feel like these kids are being robbed. They're actually being robbed of their opportunity to grow up a little bit. You know what I mean? But I mean, it was cool, to see her independence and things like that. But at the same token, man, like this situation, this situation is bad. And she is at Bloomsburg.
Okay.
And the Poconos is getting hit hard with this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the whole thing that amazes me. But I think, like the housing for college students are a lot different than when I went. Like it was. Now they kind of have suites now. especially with all the construction that they're doing in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. It's kind of like shut down. Like everybody almost has their own bathroom now, because
No,
before,
well, I'm pretty sure they probably got a mix of both because she had
yeah,
a legit dorm room.
yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? One half on her side, one half on the other, and and everybody on the floor shared the restroom.
Oh,
you know
yeah, that's exactly how when I was at Millersville.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
And then but they had done so much construction. When I took Caleb there to look, it was totally different. It was like It was all like suites. It was all like, this is your room and this is that, and you're good to go. But I'm wondering, like, that those type of facilities, will those type of facilities be a thing of the past? They're like, nah, no, we need a legit, apartment type facilities before we bring anybody in there. I wonder, would they make changes along those lines, or things along those or along those things, moving forward. Like moving forward from COVID-19, how many people will be like, I want to go somewhere where I got my own apartment, or I may commute to where I can go home and everything like that, because just you're worried about. But the young people are more like, when you're young, you're like, I'm indestructible. I ain't gonna grab this. I don't have any pre-existing issues, so I'm gonna go live my life. That's how they think, and that's how they feel. Moving forward, definitely. So, what you guys think about next week? The draft's coming up. Any shockers? Anything you think is going to happen? Any surprises you think is going to happen? Charles, you a Skins fan? Y'all taking a defensive end?
It's funny to me that we even having it. Like, you mean to tell me you gonna guarantee somebody some money at this? We don't even know what's going on in this country. Like, come on, man, it's unbelievable.
But that's how much money they have, man. It's just unbelievable. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it. The NBA's talked about cutting some salaries. They're saying, look, we got zero revenue right now. Like, so we're thinking about cutting some people's salaries moving forward. But I think the NFL is planning to move forward.
And listen, man, they greedy. What else are they going to do? They still going to push. They greedy. You know what I mean? Like it's not a reality. It's not a reality. Like I said, until they start personally being affected, man. Yeah. And then I don't know, man. I can't believe we still having a draft. Like I don't know. It's crazy to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know these kids, coming out of the college, and some of these kids that played overseas are looking forward, to this night and whatever. But come on, man, like I don't know, man. I don't know. It just makes me think of just somebody's really in the background, just really dealing out decks of cards and playing a big game with this whole thing, man. Like I don't know.
Well, a lot of times
COVID-19, man. We quarantined. I don't know.
But you have to remember, a lot of the decision makers aren't on the front line. That was like a lot of the times, like the people are saying, okay, let's go back to work. They actually are not going to be cashiers. They're not going to be doctors or nurses. Right. They're not going to be on. They have the ability to fall back from society and make decisions and not be directly involved. They're not driving buses or driving trains or doing those things. That's not their thing. So they feel as though, look, the stock market is down. We need to get that back. My investments. So what can we do? Can we slowly open this thing? And that's what it's going to be interesting to see. And exactly, moving forward with the NFL saying, okay, we're going to have our draft, but are people going to be in a draft war room together? Like, is everybody going to be like, is everybody like going to be separated? Like, what's the, there was some flack about what Dak Prescott had a party or whatever. He said he had 10 people over his house. Is 10 people over your house too many people over your house? He probably has a big ass house, but you know what I mean? But those things, looking forward, it's going to be really, really interesting to see. And you can kind of judge, people, corporations, on their policies of moving forward. My wife, she works at home. I don't see, like I said, I don't see why when you have more people working from home, they're more productive, they're more comfortable, they're gonna miss less time. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're gonna miss less time, but we'll see how moving forward. And you just give them a laptop and they're good to go. And
Right.
and it'll be interesting to see also how the schools in the funding policy and the funding things they use, are they going to try to get a device in every student's hand in America? If this happens,
Man.
if this happens again, look, we'll have days. They may even do practice days. Like, look, we're doing a cyber day today this Friday.
Right.
Everybody work from home.
I just asked my sons. I just asked them, do y'all miss your friends at school? And they was like, nah, not really, because we kind of, some of them they play the game with and stuff like that. So they talk to them, they have interaction. I said, well, what's better? Is it better? You think it's better being schooled at home, or is it better going into the classroom? It was like, it's more homework, but this is better. You know what I'm saying? And we might have found it might be a gift and a curse in the same thing. I tell you what, I want my taxes lowered. We're not providing, all the extra activities and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, man, this really may become like a future, man. I was laughing because I was giving a reference to the movie Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. And they really grew to a culture in Demolition Man where it really wasn't up close and personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, man, is this where we're going for the rest of our life? I mean, I think it's awesome. The whole homeschool thing. And I mean, it's actually going to make me consider even doing it. Period, man. Like, period. Besides, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just a lot of different things or avenues and things to think about with this whole entire situation. But my kids is kind of cool with it, man. I'm like, hey, man, maybe I will homeschool them this year. I don't know. And then I can pick where they play football at. You know what I'm saying? If they have a football season. You know what I'm saying?
But that's interesting because I wonder if it's a generational thing, because I wanted to be out the house. I mean, I used to get in my most trouble. I was only child too. I wanted to be out the house. There's nothing. I didn't have the quality of games that the kids have now. The quality of communication, the quality of interaction. We had with walkie-talkies. You could go maybe 100 yards away from somebody.
Man, we couldn't afford. I couldn't afford none of them. I made a joke on Facebook about a year or so ago. Like, punishment used to be stay in the house. Now it's punishment. It's like, yo, get out the house, go outside. But you right though. You right. We didn't have. I mean, we had games. It's crazy because I just bought one of those little $30 games off Amazon to play all the old games we played on Atari. That kind of stuff. Donkey Kong and all that stuff. But we had that. You know what I'm saying? But no, you're right. We're not headset online, playing virtually with like these kids are doing now. You know what I'm saying? We really had to go outside and play. Like, you don't even see kids play hide and go seek no more. Red ball, red butt, what's the, all the games, wall ball, all that kind of stuff. Like, you don't really see it, man. It's just a different day and age now.
And that's what I'm thinking. What were you saying, Jonathan?
They don't play manhunt, release, capture the flag.
Right.
None of that. You rarely see a group of, even, I'm talking about even in the projects, you rarely see a group of 20 kids. I'm talking about even in the projects where it's 75 kids in there. You rarely see a group of 20 kids. Rarely. I mean, I haven't seen a group of 20 kids, 20, 13-year-olds, between the age of 12 and 15. I haven't seen a group of that in so long. Like, you rarely see that.
Yeah, and we used to play sports against other neighborhoods. You used to play hide and go seek. We would run in the woods. We would do all that kind of stuff, catch crawfish, all that kind of stuff. That you get in trouble because you're
on the train tracks. Yeah, you on the train tracks.
So we grew out more outdoors because really you stay around. if you stayed around the house, you're going to get in trouble on it, and increase your
Yep.
chances of getting beaten. So you
Right.
stay,
or you was gonna have to do some work.
some chores. So you were like, let me get as far away from home as possible.
Yeah, right.
Punishment now is turn the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So,
I didn't shut down the Wi-Fi, and everybody's like, what's going on? Like,
Right.
the whole world comes to the stop, you know. And hopefully, you know, IT, they keep all this internet, because this is the streams and everything that's going on in the internet and everything like that is keeping people's sanity. I mean, really, and it's interesting that we talk about the payment for it. When we talked about this a lot of times in education and talk about access to things, and I know a lot of grants that get a lot of equipment and pay for internet access for schools that I work in, where it was like 85% of the kids are on free or reduced lunch, and that's the districts that I've worked in that pay for equipment and internet costs and things. Will internet become a utility? It's something that you definitely need to have, and it'll be managed, because that's the connection that everybody has.
Right.
We're running everything over, from phones to watching television, everything. It'll be a lot of things that will come up from this COVID-19 and the discussions, you know, moving forward.
Now that you're working, everybody working from home now,
right.
A lot of that.
Yeah, we need to be able to lines and communicate and be able to keep everybody up. And that's the thing. I think that, you know, more, it was moving that way from the beginning, but now even more out of necessity, out of just, you know, it's the safety issues. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep y'all working from home for a few more months till we get a grasp of this thing. Definitely, and I think it would save money in the long run. You know, for commuters.
You figure if you take, like, my wife. She not getting reimbursed for now. She might get put on her taxes or whatever, but she's not getting reimbursed for the electric she used, the internet she's using. She's not getting reimbursed for none of that. So those companies now, you don't have to have a big building now. You don't have to have a building that can hold 400 people. You can have an office, and running 400 people from home, and you got an office in your house, and you got 400 people running from home. You got your IT guy working from home. You got everybody working from home. You know, so. You went from a building that had to hold 400 people, you know, to an office in your house, you know, and running everybody off of that, you know, because my wife, she's a front desk office person for somebody up Harrisburg, you know, for a hospital in Harrisburg. So they call that, and it comes all the way down there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they've been doing for years, outsourcing technology, you know, overseas. A lot of, you know, that's where a lot of troubleshooting and stuff goes, and you just route it. I mean, that's just
right.
And it's just, it makes sense, because from the long run, you know, employees are going to be happier. I'm not getting up in the car. I got to drive somewhere. I'm home. I'm in the house. If you got young kids or whatever, it can help. And it's just more efficient.
Like you said, I'm not going to call out for more snow days. I can make more snow days.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, everything, like your availability, and you're happy. One of the things, like, oh man, I got to get up tomorrow morning. Well, you can go sleep a little later, because you're going 15 steps to turn on to work. It's 15 steps to work. And, you know, unless you on a video conference, you can be, you know, dressed any way you want to be dressed, you know, moving forward. And it's just crazy. Definitely. Anything you guys watching before we get out of here? Anything good? No, you didn't see anything?
I'm watching a family show.
Oh, okay.
The wrestler on the Big Show, he got a TV show.
Oh, okay.
I just got turned on to Zero. Y'all heard of that?
Yeah, on Netflix, right?
It's on IMDb.
Oh, IMDb. Okay. What's that about?
It's a mafia. It's a cartel show. It's your typical cartel show, but it's good though. It's good.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's like three different stories going on at one time, with three different situations, but they all intertwine. Like the one, like it all intertwines. I mean, so it breaks down the life of the sellers, the buyer, and the broker.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So people that the people that
all
bring
levels.
it over here,
Yeah.
and the people that distribute it when it gets here. So it's good though. It's good.
I'll check it out. I did Netflix, The Innocence Files. Very, very good show.
All right, I'm taking notes.
Yeah, if you want to, the criminal justice system is called The Innocent Files, and a lot of stories about a lot of people doing 30 years for stuff they didn't do, and had a great one of the stories, because it's about 9 episodes, but 9 different, about 6 or 7 different people, and one of them take place in Philadelphia. Guy our age, Charles. Like, yeah, guy our age. He spent 27 years behind jail, and you know he didn't do it. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's like,
listen, that's a big deal right now too. You know why? With the coronavirus, so you got people that's in jail that shouldn't be in there, and the coronavirus is spreading in the jail system like crazy, like wildfire. And I'm telling you, man, what I want to see is the lawsuits that come out of this whole situation, man, because I know they're gonna be bananas, man.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. I can't imagine. That may be add to, the lawsuits. Like, and I was exposed to corona. You know what I mean? When they add up and total everything up, in the past, they'll be like, "What happened?" I was like, yeah, I was exposed to corona too. And I shouldn't have been here.
Right. There's no way you can do that social distance in an overpopulated jail already.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like I was in there for a couple days, for 6 days, and it was 3 of us in one cell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and don't forget
a little cot they put out.
Right. Little plastic jail. I'm stopping.
Yeah. 3 of us in one cell. You know.
Right. And not to mention the worst healthcare system in America is in the jail system.
Yeah, don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. But fellas, man, thanks for joining. Everybody be safe as we battle this, moving forward. And we'll get together again, hopefully soon in person. But until that time, be safe, and I'll check back in with you, Charles, definitely.
Okay.
Sports Talk Live. Good luck with the Panthers. You guys can rebound from this. Definitely.
Sure.
But we're out of here. Sports Talk Live for the culture. Peace. Thanks.
All right.
All right.